basically, that's what we're here to do tonight. My name is Joshua Paulsen, and I'm very, 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 very grateful that you're in here tonight. We're not live? Oh, okay. Give me a countdown again then. Hello, my name is Joshua Paulsen. I'm here to present to you tonight the book that I've done for all of you tonight. I wrote this book in anticipation of compiling all the artwork that I've done throughout 10 plus years of doing artwork for bands around town. How it's gonna go tonight. The old ones, which are my very dear friends that I've been friends with for good amount of time now, and I've done artwork for them throughout the years. The book contains basically all the art that I've done for bands throughout the years. And after that, I'm going to do a little interview with my good friend Lenny Howes. For you, Anna Page was supposed to be here tonight, but she was sick and she couldn't make it, and safety first, always. So so we're going to do a live stream of the old ones, and then it'll be interview, and then these guys will kick it off afterwards. So thank you all for coming here tonight. It means the world to me. It sincerely means the world to me. I genuinely mean that. There will be a link into all the chat that where to find the book and where to actually purchase the book. It's about 70 pages, and it basically just chronicles my time in the scene, in Montana's underground music scene. So thank you all for coming tonight. And with that, here are the old ones.
Thank you. Let's all give a hand to Josh and his beautiful hair.
Woo! Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
That guy looks better every day, doesn't he? Really does. You ready, boys?
Ready as I can be.
All right. we're having fun, right?
Hello, Internet.
We're gonna tune real quick, and we're gonna play one more, and then Josh is gonna do an interview, and we'll see where it goes from there. Thanks for watching, you guys. We really appreciate it.
Don't forget how it breaks down in the middle and the stop in that third verse.
Noted.
Trevor?
Noted. Fucked up on it once today.
It sounds really good in here.
Fuck yeah, it does.
Great.
Now it's my turn to sing. Cheers, Internet.
Cheers, internet. Right back at it.
KRKX, rattling the rims, rocking the Rockies.
It's been a while.
I miss it. Oh. In any other case, this is a new song called COVID 1984.
Ready?
Thank
What's your narrative you'll be doing sometime? Right there. Moving 1984. Right there. Moving 1984. Right there. Moving 1984. Right there. Moving 1984.
Paulsen, your people await.
Howdy. So, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to go to just a quick break. Could be probably a couple minutes or so. And after that, we're going to do an interview with me and Lenny Howes. Just that I just wrote, and that's why we're here tonight, more than anything. And then after that, we're gonna go cut back into some more live music. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. It means the world to me. I know I've repeated that over and over again, but I could not do this without the company of everyone that's here tonight. So yeah. So thank you all for tuning in tonight, and just take a little break, and then we'll be right back with you. So cheers.
Josh.
How's it going?
My name's Lenny, and I'm here with Josh, the man of the hour.
It is, and
We're talking about his lovely new book.
Yeah, Kvlt, Montana.
There's also, if you're interested, a little donation code running across the bottom of your screen right now. So if you feel like donating to the project, go ahead and type that in.
Yeah, that'll be through basically the people who are hosting us tonight, Kirsch Grocery, who is a wonderful venue. The reason we're doing this tonight basically is because of Shane DeLeon and Kirsch Grocery, and if you choose to just donate towards them, the reason that we're able to do this is because of donations on that. So much appreciated on that sense.
So we're going to run through a few interview questions that the lovely Anna Page prepared for us.
Yeah. Anna Page, if you're watching tonight, I know you are not feeling well right now, but you know we're here in spirit, and thank you so much for the things that you've done, all the things together. So
we'll see how long that runs us, and then we'll keep making new ones up if we run out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it says, naturally, the first people I started getting commissioned to work for were local bands, is the quote from the book. Let's talk about how this came naturally for and to you. What was your interest and your involvement as an audience member, and what started it all?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think growing up, just being involved in music my entire life, I mean, like, when I say, like, being involved in music, I mean just being obsessive about music, you know what I mean? Like, literally just, like, finding music and then, like, finding their influences and then finding the influences that happened after them. I've always been around, like, live music for the most part. And it's just been something that it's always been something that I've just been into, you know what I mean? As someone who just did art most all my life, naturally gravitating towards, like, oh, hey, like what do you do? Like, oh, I do art. And then, like, naturally that just came upon a progression of, like, oh, would you like to do art for our band? You know what I mean? And, like, okay, like, what do you have? Because sometimes they're like, you want to do art for our band? I'm like, no, we're not into what you know what I mean? You're doing that. My style, for whatever reason, seemed to most likely because I'm into that type of music as it is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Gravitated towards more extreme styles of music. So and then, like, when I finally came back out to Montana, just getting associated with that, they're like, oh yeah, like we'd like you to have do artwork for us, you know. But this has been something that has been in my life, like my entire life, not just like through in Montana, you know what I mean? Like, just hanging out with live bands, going through music and, like, talking about that, and then, like, just showing my artwork just to be like, hey, like, I'm an artist, you know, like, oh yeah, we appreciate your style and we'd like you to do art for us, you know. So
this looks sick, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Cool. The second quote from the book is, one of the hardest things I've had to deal with my mental illness has been the thought that I would never be able to talk about any of my problems, that I couldn't talk about them for fear of revealing myself to the world. It's played instrumental in realigning that confidence to put out this book with all the personal stories attached to it. And so she puts that this is a really beautiful statement, and it really shines a spotlight on your art and how it's a part of your health and a processing tool. Did you come to art because of your struggles, as a way to share what you were experiencing with others?
Yeah, that's a heavy one. It just kind of seemed to, like, come natural, to be honest. I draw dark art. You know what I mean? A lot of the themes that I deal with is very dark and definitely on that side of the spectrum. And I think a lot of the extreme musics that we listen to, well, that I listen to anyways, that deal with those same anxieties, deal with that same extremity that comes with that. And a lot of the catharsis that I've been able to express through heavy music has been able to be, like, because, like, man, like, I can't play music. You know what I mean? I don't know how to play music. I don't know how to do any of that. But when I listen to that, the extremity, the anguish that comes through that, it resonates.
Yeah, it's a way to process.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? and so it just seemed to sort of align with with how that comes through, so I don't know. I really, to be honest, like I don't know why that got gravitated towards that. It's just like they're like, yeah, man, like it just seemed like just to fall in line, to be honest. Like,
so the follow up is, how does it feel to have the book out in the world?
Oh man, it's terrifying.
Like exciting,
yeah,
and
well,
vulnerable.
because again, like for viewers out there, like and for you have ordered the book, and when you get to read it, like I really appreciate all of the people that have ordered the book. There are a lot of personal stories that are in this, you know what I mean? And I initially was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put out a book that it's just going to be art,
picture book,
just a picture book, just a picture book about all my art. You know what I mean? But as I was going through that, I was like, hey man, like I'm myself.
Hey man,
hey man, you need to write about our scene that has happened to this, and it just turned out I don't know how to write. Other than just do my own interpersonal stuff that's happening with that, and that just happens to be dealing with mental illness and the things that talk about throughout that book. You know what I mean? Like it just gravitates towards that, and to me it falls in line with the imagery and the music that we listen to so much. You know what I mean? So
it's cool that you're willing to go ahead and just put that out in the world for
no,
everybody
it's transparent, and I think that it's also something that has been a stepping stone in that sense, because I know I know it's very difficult to talk about people who deal with mental illness, in a lot of senses. It's very difficult to talk about, and this didn't just come about like. Sporadically, you know what I mean? This is like years and years of me traversing through these stories and understanding them, and like coming back to them and actually like
being able to put them all together,
being able to put them all together.
Kind of a story that also follows the art and follows the music.
Sure, yeah. It just happened
through.
to be like, oh, I can't talk about this without like addressing the fact that like this involves a lot of,
internal places.
Internal place. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Another quote is, I started Icarus Illustrations as a way to begin understanding some of the enigmas that surrounded events that I could never explain. It's through my art that I've been able to express such a complicated human experiences. Little did I know that it would be the collaborations with our obscure music scene that would allow it to synchronize in one breath.
Yeah.
You say in the intro that you're no writer, but the book's stories are well told and flow well.
Yeah.
How did this book come about?
Yeah, so it's funny because that exact quote that you just said right now, the person who edited the book, my good friend Jordan Drake, this book would not, the written portion of this book would not be able to do without the fact that he edited a lot. Because again, when I say that when I say I'm not a writer, I mean to say that like writing is not my medium. You know what I mean? It's just not something that I excel in. And he, as he was editing it, he literally like pointed that out in the editing process. Like he said that almost verbatim. He said that same exact thing. He's like, you say you're not a writer, but you said this exact thing. And to me, going about that idea of like, okay, like once I got the entire book together, it was like, oh, hey, like I don't think I would have been able to do all of the artwork that I've done for the bands and the commission that I've done throughout the if it weren't for the bands, you know what I mean, I wouldn't have been able to express it correctly in that sense. And I guess that's what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it did align enough to where like there's a book written about it.
Yeah. There's enough to put a whole story there.
It's like a whole story now, you know what I mean? 70 pages.
70 pages
dedicated to it, you know what I mean? So
the follow-up is, were you documenting things as you went?
I don't know. To
was
be
it
honest,
mostly
yes,
just, like,
you know what I mean? It was internal for sure. And that's what was so hard about the writing process, because I was just my main reason I was putting this book together was just to put all my art together. And so to come back to that, to like actually revisit a lot.
Did you have like written notes from those times?
No.
Or was it all just like thinking back and like replaying?
It's all player. You know what I mean? And the only guide that I had, to be honest, was my art. And because I would look at the drawings and be like,
remember what
it was
you were
it was exactly what it was.
feeling when you were
exactly.
drawing
Yeah,
each of those
that was
lines.
the only thing that was there. You know what I mean? And I think that trying to, and again, going back to or did we go cover? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, like going back to the idea that like I also feel that like we in Montana, like we haven't had a documentation of our underground music scene that has been prevalent in that sense. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to express that. And now like with live shows not really being a thing, you know what I mean? Not really. I mean we're coming back. We're getting there. We're in that cusp. Theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically.
Theoretically, we're in that cusp. You know, we're just kind of getting back to that. But for a lot of people. Live music that's not an option. You know anymore.
Yeah, fun thing in the book is like read through and kind of just like remembering
remembering
all of the shows and all
remembering
this,
oh hey,
the
that's when that was
places
time.
you were-
That's what that band was. That was what we're going through, and that definitely was a huge purpose of why I wanted to put this book out as well. Because as a music head, it's in our blood. You know what I mean? Like this is what we do. This is what we do, and to take away from that. Dude, the gap in the loss of that, and I'm not just speaking on myself here, like, and not just even in Montana, like, it's just, man, it's something that there's a hole there that it's just not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something I'm hopeful, and again, it's like it's hard to know what's actually going to happen, but that this kind of break did allow for things like this book, and did allow for some just like ruminating and time to like build up an excitement to bringing something back in. That's fresh and something that's gonna kind of just
and and I know like just like even like in the last couple of weeks, like Montana specifically has had some live shows that have happened. You know what I mean? And we're just getting back into that cusp of like what it means. And again, live music is, as music heads, that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I can't put it to words. Again, I'm not a writer.
well, just again, it's an experiential thing
it's
that you
super
can't
experiential.
understand
Like you
without
can't not like put that into words. To be honest, you know, and to me, to try to put it into words, it only deteriorates from the fact of the experience itself. You know, so I don't know. Yeah.
As it says, you mention in collaboration with James Hickman for the old ones, this idea of producing something that succeeded in representing them, and that's huge for an artist, in the quotes. You even go on to tour with the band to become their official artist. Let's talk about commissions, because lots of artists don't do them. Yeah. And you're the opposite. You spent a lot of your time honing your craft by creating something for others.
Well, yeah, going back to the idea that like I just grew up in music. I live music, love me, like this is what I lived. And so I don't know the idea of like other artists don't do commissions. I can't speak for that, you know what I mean? Cuz I don't know necessarily what that means, but
well, I think the tendency is, especially for people that are like up, that are just like developing their art and coming up, they feel bad, or they either like are looking for exposure or they're looking for that, but it feels weird to not know how to charge and not know what to charge or what to,
and I talk about that a little bit. There's specifically one chapter actually that dives into that, because I didn't go to school or anything like that. Like I didn't know, like all of this stuff is just new to me. Like putting out this book is like might be my magnum opus. You know what I mean? It might be the only thing that I ever do in my entire existence. And part of that was learning how to like get into that mode of like, oh, I have to do a commission for you. Okay, like what does that look like? And for the longest time, I would only do artwork for bands, specifically the old ones. For an example, I did artwork for they were Worm Rider at the time. I did artwork for them just because I was like, oh shit, like they're the heaviest band that I've seen. You know what I mean? I want to do artwork for them. There's like no question in my mind. You know what I mean? And whether they accept that artwork or not is different. But like, I would choose only to do artwork for the bands that I thought I wanted, that really struck with me. You know what I mean? And so like getting into that commission and getting to that like, oh, like when you have to like actually start charging for people, you know what I mean? That's a different, that's that whole dreaded thing called marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which that I fucking hate. You know, but initially it felt natural to just do art for bands that I enjoyed. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to do artwork for bands that I really, really enjoyed. I wanted them as artists to have a solid image. More importantly, because to me as a visual artist, it was important to because like I can't tell you how many times I've been scrolling through records and like just picking up something like, oh man, your artwork's so rad, and you put the record on, it just sucks. You know what I mean? And likewise, having a really rad band and then just the visuals just don't hold up. You know what I mean? And it just and so I wanted to make sure that for the bands that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In Billings, who has already had a really, really hard time expressing music on this level anyways, I wanted to make sure that they they had some good imagery. And the fact that they enjoyed my artwork too. I'm not just trying to like boost myself. Like they were enjoying my artwork at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
I didn't want to be like, listen now, let me show you how to. You know what I mean? But they were enjoying my artwork, and so it was it
symbiotic
made sense.
and
Yeah,
reciprocal.
symbiotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In looking back at your art and seeing all this come together, what are some of your biggest successes? And any regrets, things you would do differently?
No, I wouldn't do anything differently. Absolutely no. No. I mean, it was troublesome the entire time, but also
Most good things are.
Yeah, they should, and they should be. But I would not change anything. I guess I don't really understand the question entirely
What's your biggest successes? I guess we maybe already talked about it. It's like doing
the
art
entire
for,
thing. Just
doing art for things that you love, and
going back to that idea of just like providing imagery for a band that I enjoy, and them having being receptive to that, and them being successful with their image through that. You know what I mean? I don't know that I could ask any more of that. You know what I mean? Because to me, this is like.
Because as not a marketer, that's the success. It's like getting the heart behind it and having it show up and go out into the world.
Sure. Because that image is going everywhere. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they're representing that, and to me, like they're representing my artwork in that sense. But it didn't. To me, that is the success, and which is why for a long time, I wasn't really concerned with funds. Or money or anything like that, you know what I mean? Because that wasn't in my brain at the time. You know what I mean? To me,
not
I was just like,
to your natural
I just want
behavior.
to do artwork.
Yeah.
I love this band. I want to do artwork for this band, and I want them to not look. Not again. I want their. I feel like my imagery could work well with them, and I want that to align together. You know what I mean? And it seemed to work.
So another fun snippet is you went to France for a couple weeks and
were
stuck there for a couple months.
Sure. Yeah.
Was anything stand out from that experience of being stuck in a country a lot longer than you expected to be?
Absolutely, yeah. That's a whole entire story in itself. To relate that back to the book, and there was a single commission that I had out there actually that's in this book. So yeah, I was supposed I had an artist in residency program that I talk about pretty heavily in this as well. That I was only supposed to be out there for 2 weeks. And then the pandemic hit, and I was out there, and then I ended up being stuck out there for about 3 months. And within that time period, again, it's like an entire story in itself. But there was a single commission that came through the band, the noise project Erzabet, who they were posting music, and they were just like, hey, like, would you be interested in artwork for this? And then at this point, like, I was in an actual studio that I could work with like bigger stuff and do more elaborate things, and I
had some more resources than
you
did
more resources than just
yeah.
like a piece of paper and my pens.
Yeah,
you know,
sitting in a coffee shop.
We need to go into that a little bit more because that was huge. Yeah, just other than that, I had so it ended up being like collage work on like a giant piece of a plywood board or wood work or whatever, you know what I mean, with collage work and acrylic and like mediums that I am not familiar with at all, you know. So yeah, it was cool, and I'm glad that it made it in the book more than anything. You know?
It had some extra time to
Sure.
keep playing around in a place.
Sure.
Something that I've been really interested in. You've had a lot of time developing your faith in the Eastern Orthodox Church.
Yeah.
And also you're a very big proponent and advocate for like queer and trans rights and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how have you found like integrating a really ancient traditional belief system into modern society?
Difficult.
Yeah.
Absolutely difficult. You know what I mean? I don't think that that there are words that could actually go into that, so much. But I would just say that like there is a matter of like as a queer person, it's coming to these sort of things through our normal lens, specifically in Western ideology of just like, nope. You know what I mean? Like, and I would even say in ancient ideology, it is very difficult in that sense. You know what I mean? And there was one specific story that I talk about very greatly that describes my experience within the Eastern Orthodox Church and like how that has come about. And it's I don't know that I have an answer specifically. Yeah. I would just say that like, you know, I
have been shaped by both of those.
Sure.
Yeah, by
absolutely.
both of those experiences.
I've certainly been shaped by both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it kind of reminds me of just like you said, going to a show has a certain experiential feeling, weight to it, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Those things are hard to always put into words.
Yeah, I would presume that if someone says that they do have the words, maybe not, you know. Yeah. Just put some flags up is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But I don't want to take away from that. But I just say that like it's been difficult on both ends. But coming back to my faith has been a huge part of that, and it has been through those routes that I've been able to channel back to that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I know that politically we're so diverse at the moment, and it's difficult all the way around. You know what I mean? But again, like I'm not going. It's difficult to try to like eliminate yourself from what you're doing, and then also like apply to the faith that's involved and like all that stuff.
Right.
So
everything stacked on it.
Sure.
Yeah. That was just an easy question. I just thought I'd throw that one in.
No, it's cool.
For,
No, I hope that I answered it as best as I could.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean?
I'm going to do one last one. As a frequently nocturnal person,
yes, absolutely nocturnal.
What do you get to experience that the daywalkers don't get to? What's something the daywalkers miss out on?
Yeah. So Billings, not just Billings, but Montana, I'd say. You know what I mean? We have a good nightlife. You know what I mean? I work at the Monty Bar and Casino, and like I'm over there like day and night for the most part, and I would say that the shift that comes in through us night owls, there's a lot of tiredness that comes through the day, because like a lot of people are like, oh man, like we experienced this thing that was what we put on and like what we're doing, and then like they come to the bar to like experience to just get away, or not just get away, but just to like
just gotta click out of the
thing.
Maybe like a facade that they've been holding up all day.
Sure. And on your spectrum as working at a coffee shop, you get like the other end of it. You get people who are like, all right, I'm ready for the day. Like give me that red eye shot. Like I'm prepared for the day. You know what I mean? And then like I meet on like the other end where I'm just sitting around the bar and being like, people are like, damn, like that day did not go the way it needs to go.
I've exexperienced you on both sides of your day, on your start and on your finish.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So our nightlife is fantastic. You know what I mean? And we just need to keep going with that more. And as Billings and as Montana is growing, we need to just like continue like recognizing that nightlife is a thing,
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing, and not close when we need to. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, not have more 24-hour open places, because that's been the problem. Is that like the only thing that's open is bars.
Right. Yeah.
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
place
That's the only
to-
thing that's open is bars. Past 10, 11, like basically every
Sometimes
other shop.
8
just-
p.m.
Yeah. And your shop, and when I talk about that, is that your shop opened up at 10 for a while there anyways.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, all right, I can just fucking cruise on over and just like sit in a coffee shop and just hang out for a minute. And that was great to me. You know what I mean? I recognize business-wise it may not, because we just
I've
don't have...
always wanted to like have that be able to work.
Yeah.
And it's like hasn't worked
No, I
yet. But
know.
I'm like, someday I'll be able to work.
And you
No.
and like, yeah, I know you've tried like another, and it's been a struggle, right? Because of our population and just the way that people work around here. Like when it gets to that like 7, 8 o'clock realm, like they're going to go drink. They're not doing anything else. You know what I mean? So I recognize that, and that's why I guess that's where I haunt, you know, down in that respect.
Well, live stream. This has been Josh Paulsen. This is his book. You should buy it. It has lots of amazing stories and beautiful art in it.
Yeah.
There's a little donation running across the bottom of your screen if you want to donate to Kirk's and help cool stuff like this keep happening. And thanks so much for having me last minute. and
Thank you, Lenny.
Thanks for being
just
a friend for so many years. And
for popping on just like randomly and be like, hey, Lenny, like, can you do this? And you're like, yeah, no, I'm down. So I appreciate that more than anything. And again, this book I put, I built it from scratch. It's all self-publishing. I wish I had more copies that are available. Unfortunately, there are only like 70 copies that are available at the moment. But if it continues to going and people are into it and I can do it, then I can do more with it. You know what I mean? But this is what we have at the moment. So, and it actually I guess it says a lot lower for just like what it means to just do that, I guess, you know what I mean? To try to publish and do that, because the only thing when this happened actually was because like I got a grant from the state actually, and that grant allowed me to like get the means to do a project, and that project is what this turned into essentially, you know what I mean? Which is Montana's Out Council put out a grant throughout the state. And that was basically the reason why this book exists in the first place. You know what I mean? So shout out to you guys if you're watching or if you're not watching, regardless. But, you know, so, yeah.
support local art.
Support local art always, specifically places like this, like Kirk's Grocery. I know I feel like a repetitive record, but I'm okay with that. Like this place, I would not be able to be where I'm at right now if it weren't for places like this. And even places like Lenny's shop, like, you know what I mean? Like Eben has been a home to me for so many years, like going in and just being able to like sit in your shop and draw. You know what I mean? And same with the Monty, like, and I promise I'm not trying to like just sell points, but I'm just like, this has been my experience, is like being able to just as a wanderer walk into a coffee shop and just draw for hours, walk into a bar and just sit and have pints and just draw for hours. You know what I mean? And then like somehow come down to Kirk's Grocery and get something going on with that. And like that is something that that is only because of my friends and the way that I've been able to do that that has come to
Really cool.
come to fruition.
There's a cool community in Billings.
Absolutely.
Of,
Yeah.
of support that.
Yeah.
If you're looking for it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So.
Well, thanks. I think we're gonna get back to some more
Yeah,
music.
yeah. So
More
we're gonna
music.
go back into the live, the old ones, and again, there should be a link in the bio if you guys are interested in buying the book. And thank you so much for everything that you guys are tuning in today. I mean, again, I wouldn't be here if it were not for the entire community at all. So, thanks, friends. I love you all.
Bye. Leave the mics on. Turn them off. Do you care? Okay. Cool. Good job, guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna just do a little like.
sleeps inside.
Thanks for tuning in tonight, everyone. I appreciate you all. You can buy the book via the links in the chat, and thank you for showing up tonight. I don't have one on hand. Anyways, we love you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. This is the old ones.
Good morning, Vietnam. Hey, shut up.
Let's play it, boys. Ready?
This is our favorite band.
Trevor's got a twangly twang. That means
South Philadelphia, on the Avenue C. In the idle way to free, but way down. Why don't you about you? Fuck you! Why don't you about you? A Walmart, welfare hotel, and I is jail. The Wilcox Hotel. Why don't you about you? Fuck you! I don't care about you. That's all that a heart attack in Manhattan. He's probably the center right now. Thank you. I don't care about you, baby. I don't care about you. I'm rolling drunk, running in the street. Some men are sleeping in pew. I'm like, I'm busy trying to have destruction. I don't care about you, baby. I don't care about you anymore. I don't care about you. Fuck you. I don't care about you. I don't care about you, baby. I don't care about you anymore. I don't care about you. Fuck you. I don't care about you. Love you, Josh.